Welcome to iHeartGeek.
And welcome to another episode of iHeartGeek.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wow. Okay. iHeartGeek today is brought to you by Phase 1.
Thank you.
Time to rewatch them all. It's been way too long.
It has
Each week.
been.
It's been 11 years.
I know, and I don't even. Phase what? I don't even remember.
I think we'll all know that with the game show.
Excuse me, just a second, PB. Why go get my shield?
So yeah, we're breaking this episode kind of into three different parts. We're doing Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. We're going to have a different guest for every phase.
I'm a guest.
Oh, shut up. We're all guests in like a cosmic sense, I guess.
Actually, it's just a phase.
Oh, that's good.
Good one.
Nice. I'm Dub, and I'm your producer.
I'm Carl, the BG Black Geek.
I'm Kaj. I'm here.
Wait a minute. You being Carl the BG Black Geek, does that make you Carl the Black Geek?
The blackest of the Black Geeks.
Okay, very good.
No, then it'd have to be the B Black Geek.
So many semantics.
Damn!
All right. Since I'm actually the guy.
Stereotypes.
Since I'm actually the original guy with letters, I'm PB&Jason.
Okay. Nice. I'm excited about this. I'm a little nervous about this one because there's just so much information be packing in.
Plus, we already know the game show is hard.
Oh my god,
Not that hard!
it really is. We're doing. We got.
You guys are being punished for not watching things recently, that's all.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
I've been watching the DC app. I think that's a problem. That work? No,
No,
we're
not
not
today.
watching DC Phase 1.
I'm just saying.
Superman the movie.
You know, you got a lot of balls wearing that shirt for this show.
Okay, I got to tell this story. This one pissed me off. So we were at the Avengers movie. We didn't talk about this on the show. This guy that's sitting next to us, walks next to us. I'm wearing my Green Lantern shirt, as I always do. He goes, "You got a lot of balls to wear a shirt like that to this movie." I'm like, what? I didn't think the DC
Can't
Marvel
we all
universe
just
was
get along?
violent now?
Oh, it's always been violent.
No, because it's people in their basement.
That's what you think. I go around throwing shields at people.
Yeah, basements are a violent place.
No, I think people that sit that far on the DC Marvel spectrum aren't right. I'm sorry. I know that just
It's okay.
I'm safe. I'm on the
It's interesting
IDW
that there
spectrum.
actually was one of those because I've always been kind of like, I don't think those people are real. Those ones
They
that are
exist.
Really
Well, apparently,
obviously, one does exist.
Oh,
for sure.
Wow.
makes me kind of
So,
sad.
dude out there that criticized Dub shirt,
Well played.
yeah, well played, sir. Good job.
I'm not happy you exist. I wish the snap would have got you. Is that what you're saying?
I like what Black Geek said.
Harsh.
Anyway,
But I will be
sorry.
snapping with my gauntlet tonight now.
That, I guess that's the nice part about having a mic. You can get back after, you know.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so we're doing Phase 1 on this episode, and let me start with a very quick run through of the movies, and we're going to kind of talk about the movies one at a time real quick. So Phase 1 was Iron Man from 2008, Iron Man 2 from 2010, Thor from 2011, Captain America, the first Avenger from 2011, which was one of my favorites, The Incredible Hulk from 2008, and The Avengers from 2012.
Why'd you put the Incredible?
Yeah, why did he get so knocked on your list? He's an afterthought, wasn't he?
You have to know, I did a copy and paste, and that was in that way in the list.
Wow.
I want to know who made that list.
Honestly,
Same guy who criticized his shirt at the
I
movie.
will find him.
I didn't know The Incredible Hulk. We would consider that as part of the MCU.
Seriously?
The one with
It
Ed,
was,
one with
but it
Ed
wasn't.
Norton. The one with Ed
Edward
Norton. Yeah,
no,
it was.
if you think about
because
it.
it's a different actor. And
Well,
But
it was
he is-
That was a whole controversy in and of itself.
But Thunderbolt Ross makes another appearance in the MCU.
He
Yes, he does.
yeah.
And if you watch the one shots, they reference that movie in the one shots. You guys look at me funny. You don't watch the one shots.
no.
Not just the one shot. Well, no, it was because of Ed Norton. Like he
I think
was.
Norton.
Oh no,
He
but I'm
was
saying why
extremely difficult
it's
to work
why
with.
you want to
He's
make
such a
sure it's
fantastic
included.
actor.
But there's a difference between being an amazing, superb actor and just wanting
And
to
a
take control
human
of
being.
everything
Being a butthole,
because
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I love him too, but I'm glad that we got Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, he
in
would
there
have been
because he was
terrible
great.
in the Avengers.
In an ensemble.
in an ensemble cast.
Oh yeah,
Can
definitely.
you imagine him and RDJ like going at it? Like
I think they would
personally?
literally go after it.
Yeah, that would have not been.
Do you think that Ed Norton's favorite actor is Marlon Brando?
No, I think I think
Ed
Edward
Norton's favorite
actor
actor
is
is
Edward
Edward
Norton.
Norton. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Although I just say he's one of my favorite actors as far as the craft goes.
He's very.
I never
good.
want to meet him.
He's very good at his craft, but I don't want to work with a Richard either.
Right.
So I don't blame him.
No, he would be like Nightwing, like that meme that I put up the other day.
Right. Oh,
Richards,
yeah.
man, too many Richards.
Okay, so we've covered the Incredible Hulk. I think it was a fantastic movie. I know a lot of people didn't like it.
I
enjoyed
didn't.
it.
I didn't like it.
You didn't?
Can I
Why?
ask what you didn't? Yeah. Curious.
Oh boy. It's probably not the fault of the movie. It's the fact that, quite honestly, the Incredible Hulk is an incredibly boring solo character.
See, now, whereas with this movie, I felt that they made him interesting, and had they moved forward with it, that they had set up a lot
Yeah,
of Marvel
they did.
lore there in that movie.
They did. It's just, again, it's probably just my thing about there are certain characters that I don't think can carry a film. And he's one
I
of
don't
them.
agree with you, though.
And he's one of them.
And we'll talk about it later.
Well,
on
and if you
Facebook,
notice, he's
but-
one of the few characters that they've been able to make a movie that they didn't have to go through a whole origin story.
You don't
in the
have
movie.
to. You can literally do it
Yeah.
in the credits.
They did in the
Yeah.
credits.
No. I mean,
And that's how they should.
It's fair, but like I said, I'm talking about more of the overarching Hulk. Who is, I mean, it's Hulk. It's his banner. And he fight the army, and the army is the villain, and trying to catch him, and da-da-da. And it's like, it did, I don't know. I didn't care for the movie. It didn't
Now,
hold.
well, I'll give you one thing that I didn't like. They had him playing kind of like 50-year-old Bruce. I wish it would have been like maybe 30-year-old Bruce.
Did you? You felt like he was
I've
playing a
well, 'cause
50-year-old Bruce?
He felt very much retired Bruce. Very
Oh, no.
older.
I-
That's how it felt to me.
I took him as 30-year-old
Yeah,
Bruce
I kinda
Banner
did too.
on the run.
On the run,
Man on the run. And
trying to control the thing.
Yeah.
He just felt old.
The
but that's,
retired. Yeah,
that's my perception.
No.
He felt
I
older.
can see that. I would say that retired feel you got was someone that was trying to play low key and stay under the radar.
Yeah.
Loki, was he in the Hulk?
Well, hold on now.
Maybe.
Okay, and then the Stanley appearance in this one was he drank the blood of Bruce and died.
He doesn't die. He gets,
Well,
he just
he
goes
gets
to the
sick.
hospital.
They said he
This
gets sick.
hospital, yeah.
So
Okay.
that's scary that you got that much gamma ration that drop of blood made someone ill after being put in soda, packed, diluted, and shipped. Woohoo! I need some of that action.
I will give credit to the fight scenes that were in that movie, in the Incredible Hulk movie as well, especially like when they tear gassed him or they tried to gas him in that glass bridge,
in the,
and then you see him transform, then all of a sudden he busts out, and then he was fighting the Abomination and the tanks. The fight scenes were really good. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. My only problem with the ending was that it sounded like he was trying to become. He was getting better at kind of being attuned with being the Hulk, which would have turned him into Professor Hulk instead of him being kind of the rage monster that he was in the Avengers.
Again, I think he was. No, and I know I have a whole lot on this one.
Oh, it's a-
My dispute in that is it actually feeds directly into the Avengers, because if you think about it, the Incredible Hulk ends with him showing that he has control,
Right.
That he's learning to control it. The Avengers, when they ask what his secret is, he tells them, my secret is I'm always angry.
Right.
He's learned to control, and that he is always still angry. So I don't think it was moving him from the professor. It's just showing that he's dealing with his anger at the end of it. So I think it progressed. I see a progression that was there. I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunity from it. I'll say that I prefer the visual look of the Hulk in the Incredible Hulk to the Mark Ruffalo Hulk and all the other ones.
I get, yeah.
I
He
do
looked
that.
meaner.
I do.
He just
yeah.
looked meaner. Yeah.
He looked like what I think a Hulk should look like.
And then the final thing we were to discuss is the post-credit scene on this, which was the first time it has Iron Man kind of seeming
Stark.
like
Oh,
he
yeah.
is the head of the Avengers, and he's the one that's putting it together more than Nick.
Right.
So
Again, if you guys watch the so for all of our audience out there, if you watch the one shots that are on the DVDs and the Blu-rays, it actually explains why Iron Man is the one that's there. You find that they wanted to have the Abomination as part of the Avengers and not the Hulk, and they didn't want to play well, so they were like, what's the best way to upset General Ross? What's the best way to make him not play ball the way he's going to want to play ball?
Right.
Oh, we know. Listen, it's actually called The Consultant is what the name of the short is. We'll send the Consultant. And so they send Tony Stark because they know it'll irritate him.
Right.
Okay, next one we're going to talk about, and I think we're going to jam these into each other since we can. Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2.
Okay.
Brief synopsis. What would you guys? That's honestly the one is really that set the tone. I think for the MCU in general.
I agree. Not so much Iron Man 2, but definitely Iron Man 1. Like me and PB were just talking about this. That I thoroughly believe that if it wasn't for RDJ, I don't think that this Marvel
would have
that
worked.
the MCU would have not worked as well because. Like RDJ loved the character, loved Tony Stark, loved Iron Man so much. He did his research. He knew exactly how Tony was, his mannerisms, and he brought that much gravitas into that character that it skyrocketed the MCU just from that one movie alone.
Yeah, he had the benefit, of course, being a very experienced actor anyway.
Yep.
But yes, but he brought. He
lot.
was Tony Stark
The gravitas
in
and
every
that's it.
way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
Again, that's why. Eric Bana as Banner and
Ed
Norton as Banner. And even, I like Ruffalo better, but even him, it's like, to me, there hasn't been a perfect Banner, unless Bill Bixby.
Bixby.
Yeah. But,
David Banner.
yeah, exactly. But Robert Downey Jr., he
Yeah.
was...
He to me looked more like Tony Stark than anybody else.
Than Tony Stark in the book.
He was one of those when they were like RDJ is Tony Stark. Half the world was like, duh.
Yeah, exactly.
But nobody would have thought of it before.
Right, never thought of it before,
Nobody.
but as soon as they say it, it was like, well, of course he is.
yeah. But even himself, he's like, yeah, no, I'm going out for this part. Like, this is mine.
Oh, wow, they made a movie about me.
Yeah,
Let me go get
you
this taken care of.
You people are just playing with me, but this is my role.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk as far as Iron Man goes. Post credits. Well, let's see. Do we want to?
Well, my worry about Iron Man and Iron Man 2 is I hear that Iron Man 2 gets such a bum rap, and a lot of people.
It wasn't horrible.
And I don't know why either. I liked it.
But see, what was great about it, honestly, and this is kind of the sadist in me, but it really did make Marvel say, "Oh, we can't be off our game at all because people will not be forgiving."
Right.
Honestly, I think it needed it.
But again, I still am challenged to find what was so wrong with the movie.
I kind of felt like
Whiplash.
it was more...
Okay.
Not even Whiplash, because I liked him. Like, it was even Hammer. It was,
I would say Whiplash was a filler villain. He was,
That's the problem. There wasn't really a.
it was a movie to push a story along.
I'm gonna risk my geek cred here just a tiny bit. There are 3 MCU movies that I have not seen.
Iron Man 2 is
I have
one
not
of
seen
them.
Iron Man 2.
Okay.
I have not seen Iron Man 3.
Okay.
And I have not seen Thor: The Dark World.
Okay.
Well, we need.
Okay, some of those are forgiving.
Well,
two
two of those are forgiving, but
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 is... Well, just even... I love Sam Rockwell, but Sam, like...
I thought
Hammer,
he was one of the best part of it. Honestly,
I don't. I think
loved him.
Hammer was Obadiah.
He was a little too.
Yeah, he was basically just... It was a regurgitation of
He
Obadiah.
was funny though, and I mean he was
a weak...
so over the top. Oh no, he was a total wuss, and that's what's great about him. He's incompetent, but he's that guy that everybody knows at work that always gets ahead and is always in charge of everything. But they are complete and total tools. They don't know what they're doing. They're weak. You could take them down at any point, but you don't because they got that position, and that was what he was. And it's so perfect.
Gosh, I would have rather. I know that they couldn't do it because they didn't have Spider-Man, but I would have loved to see Norman Osborn be that, and being just as smart as Tony and being a rival. Not,
But see,
necessarily
I think he would have been wasted in that.
But
role,
see,
though.
to me, yeah, and I think that the point of the second movie is everyone's looking at like, oh, this villain, that villain, but it was a story about Tony. There was a story about him dealing with who he's become, what he is, what the government wants from him,
Right.
and the underlying. I really believe the underlying villain in this particular movie is him and his sickness.
Yeah.
He's sick and he's self-destructive at this point.
And I wish they would have experimented. They would have went more with it. He got drunk at a party and pissed his suit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
They could have gone so much demon in a bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's right there.
I just
Yep.
think
No,
I
it's-
think we're.
I agree.
It's interesting. It's just one small backstep. 99% of people would probably say Iron Man launched the MCU.
I would agree.
Not,
I would
not,
agree
the,
too.
not the Hulk, Iron Man.
Yes,
Oh, good.
absolutely.
A lot of credit should actually go to Jeff Bridges' Obadiah Stane.
Oh yeah,
He was
a great villain.
top
Oh, yeah.
notch. And that's the thing. That's another factor in why, Iron Man was overall great, because you did have Robert Downey Jr., of course.
Yep.
But if he would have been a weak villain, that could have been the death sentence for the MCU too.
that
I
makes
agree.
sense
Yep.
on
Yeah.
why 2 wasn't as good. The villains weren't as good.
But in a positive note of that, at least we got to see War Machine though.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
get. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, it pushed the story along. So
So I promise I'm going to see those 3 movies, guys, as soon as I can.
I mean, if you missed the Dark World, nobody's gonna be mad at you.
Okay, well, speaking of the Dark World, let's move on to Thor, which was
See where I found that to be the
Shakespeare
weakest.
and fantastic. It was superhero. It's Shakespeare in superhero tights. It was the introduction of Loki. It was just this beautiful off-world
Okay.
look that is just so amazing. It made the Rainbow Bridge look cool. What we all thought it was going to look like, it didn't look
Yeah,
like.
Right,
that's
right,
true.
right.
I'll have stuff to say about Thor also later, but I am real. Thor. Okay, Thor was not the best MCU movie.
See, to me, that was the weakest
Okay.
of.
I don't think
Those-
so.
I don't think it was the weakest, but
Of,
it was far
phase
from
one?
it was far from the best.
Okay.
But where I will give Chris Hemsworth and whoever decided to characterize Thor a lot of credit. One, I think they took more from Ultimate Thor in his look.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
think about it, the classic Thor from Marvel 616, you had the hat with the feathers, you had
Yeah.
thou thus Thor, and
It
all
was
of his
Beta Ray Bill
lofty,
without the horse face.
Oh,
all
yeah.
of his lofty language and stuff like that. And when you're thinking, okay, we're going to bring Thor into the MCU, how do we do this in a way where he's not just going to be a laughable laughing stock the entire time? And they did it. They
Yeah.
actually brought a great actor, both the way he looks and the way that he
Acted.
chose to be Thor, still kind of lofty and lifted, but he didn't do it in a ridiculous
But
way.
that's
Oh.
when you got to give a lot of credit to the director Kenneth Branagh, who's a Shakespearean director.
Yes.
True.
Mean, if you've ever seen any of his stuff, it's brilliant and it's way
4
beyond
hours
it's,
long.
It's beyond me. But without him, I think he's the one that just helped discover the Thor character, because Thor is a little bit Shakespeare. He always has been.
Oh, but look at the full casting for that movie, though.
It was great.
Yep.
Yeah. Now that amongst all the movies, I think had the most all-star cast to start off with.
Yep.
Not a huge fan of the Warriors 3 or Sif. I don't
Really?
think the MCU has
Haven't
captured
they?
them.
Well,
Well, now they can't really do
yeah,
it
they can't really do
anymore.
that now.
Well, I mean, going back to what we were talking about earlier, but that I wish that they would have captured.
Well,
them better, 'cause
they
they're such
could.
interesting characters.
They could, if they decide to go do a back
That's
movie.
true.
They could.
And
they,
Sif is still around, so
Right.
Yeah,
yeah.
per Agents of Shield.
yeah.
Okay, so let's go on to.
Oh, one thing about
what's
Thor,
up?
just really quick. The only real disappointment for me in Thor was not that the Destroyer armor looked bad, because it really looked good, but they didn't capitalize on how
Powerful it was.
that
Right.
Destroyer armor really is.
That thing could destroy worlds, couldn't it?
Yeah, he
could
took it out a
destroy the
little
planet,
easier
yeah.
than he probably should have been.
Yeah,
able
and
to.
they should have. I mean, obviously everything is scaled down in MCU a little bit,
Yeah.
but they scaled down Destroyer armor a bit too much in its power.
Oh, I gotta throw in a character that I thought was just absolutely brilliant that didn't get the credit was Kat Darrington, the other female, the research assistant.
Okay, yeah.
That's Dark World, isn't it?
No, she's
Darcy.
She's in that
She
one.
plays. Yeah, she plays
Yeah.
Darcy.
Okay.
I thought she was so underrated. I think that she acted circles around Natalie Portman. I think she was a million times better. I wish she would have been.
Well, I feel like Natalie Portman kind of phoned that one in.
Yeah,
she
the thing about
absolutely did.
Natalie Portman is she is a wonderful actress.
When
no
she
doubt
wants
about
to.
it,
When she
wants
wants
to
the
be.
role.
She didn't
yeah.
want to be.
And she didn't want to be, and she didn't want to be in Star Wars either. So you didn't really get
Yeah, okay.
quality in Miss Portman.
Yeah. It shows,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Now, let's move on to 2011 and probably my personally my favorite of all the MCU. Great memories. Me and my kids took my dad to go see this, and this was like really the generations coming together, seeing how good a comic book movie should be, and that was Captain America: The First Avenger.
I would agree.
Oh yeah.
I can't find a fault with it. I cannot find a fault.
For us in our generation, remember that they tried to make several Captain America movies.
Yeah, they were all bad.
With the horrendous floppy plastic
What was it,
shield.
Aaron Spangle?
That-
Yeah.
and just his motorcycle with the helmet
Motorcycle
and
of Death.
and when I heard that
the
was coming
70s
out,
one? I like the music.
when I heard that the Captain America movie was coming out, I'm like, okay, this could either go very badly or it's going to be amazing, and I'm so glad that it went to the latter,
Right.
because I thoroughly enjoyed Captain America.
Well,
it was
like
so good.
like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans encompassed that role physically and in his acting absolutely perfectly. I mean, perfectly without a doubt.
Here's a little trivia for you. He actually turned down the role 6 times.
Did he?
Really?
Before actually finally accepting
I'm the
it.
Human Torch, man. I don't need to be Captain America.
After the after the criticism he got from being the Human Torch,
Well,
and
he
the
was
fact
bad,
that he was
to be fair.
being asked.
Actually,
to
he was
sign-
a fine Human
He
Torch.
really was. I thought
Yeah.
so.
I mean, there were things to criticize about that, but not him. He was
Yeah.
a fine Human
Yep.
Torch.
And the fact that he was being asked to sign a 9-movie deal at the time, he was like, I feel like I'm going to be locked into something that's not going to work.
like Superman syndrome, almost like
Yeah.
with Christopher Reeve.
But
right?
the other thing they did, they had to make, again, a decision about Captain America, and they chose the Ultimate Universe Captain America.
Yeah.
The one that was a bit more willing to pull a gun and kill somebody, and had a little more of a violent side, but still also had all of the good
But
qualities.
that's a lot of that early golden age. Captain America was the same way.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and they did great casting of Hugo Weaving
Yeah.
as the Red Skull.
Oh.
Not the best writing. His lines were the best
Yeah,
written,
but he made
he did
work
do a good
with it.
Skull.
Yeah,
Well, just that scene when he finally pulls off his
Yeah,
mask
yeah.
and you
Yeah.
see the actual Red Skull was
and
amazing.
it looked less cheesy. Like you really was expecting something cheese factor, and
It was terrifying and just amazing all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I think the biggest thing that I want to really say that this movie accomplished is, yes, this is the movie that every geek wanted. This is the movie that every non-geek knows who they are and flocked to. Mm-hmm. It's like I was saying, my dad, I can't get him to watch anything comic book. He loved this movie. We went to see it. We went to see 2 and 3 and the rest of them because this character, they did him so right. And I love the multi-generation feel to him.
Yeah.
Little kids get him. Grandpas get him.
And he's not necessarily, he is a superhero to us because he's doing extraordinary things that
just
no
likes the
normal
steroids.
human can.
Yeah.
But he's just a guy that he's almost like Batman in a way of like he is just at the top peak of his performance, and he's human. He's a regular human being.
Right, except he's a little bit more an Ultimate Cap, who was a
Right.
little bit stronger.
Right.
But also, he had the best series. I
Right.
mean, like with the
Oh,
sequels.
I agree.
yeah, with
I
his
agree.
growth and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, language.
Yeah. I mean, but he says, in the first movie, one of the best lines that comes out of him is, "What makes you so special? Nothing. I'm just a guy from Brooklyn."
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the essence of Captain America, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, that's final movie we're going to discuss as far as Phase 1 go is the end of Phase 1, as the end of all of these, is the Avengers.
which
Actually,
is
that's
still
not
my
accurate.
favorite MCU
Huh?
movie.
I'm sorry. We'll get to it in Phase 2, but that is not accurate. Avengers is not the end of all of the phases.
Oh, I thought they were.
Nope. There's one phase that does not end in an Avenger movie.
Well, technically, Spider-Man is the end of Phase 4.
No, but
or
the
Phase
end
3,
the end of Phase 2 ends with Ant-Man.
Oh, you're
Oh,
right.
cool.
You're
Cool.
right.
The Avengers, still my favorite MCU
if-
film.
That scene when they're all going around.
That circled
Yep.
scene.
Oh,
Now, that's some cinematography right there.
Now, were you guys kind of skeptical about this movie as well?
Yes.
Because I remember seeing that the Avengers come up. Like, all right, they've done build up. We've had individual movies for everybody, so we know all their stories. But I still had that bitter taste in my mouth of Spider-Man 3 when they tried to cram so
Everything
many
Yeah.
in there, yeah.
just way too many, and it's like, this is going to be overload.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to
I
work.
will agree with you. I was very worried that they weren't going to capitalize on all the characters properly.
But I had faith in it because of the fact that they did so much groundwork. Everyone's got their origin story. You don't need another origin story.
Well-
so it made it so that, wow. And I knew they can tell actually a story now instead of having to concentrate on this garbage, you know?
Yeah.
See, what concerned me going into it is, and it's hard to believe this if you look, thinking about it now, but look back, all those characters were what Marvel considered at that time their B and C rate characters.
B&C characters.
It was why they were able to make the movies, because those weren't properties, with the exception of the Hulk, who had been sold off to
Universal.
Fox or Universal
yeah.
or Sony.
Right.
Hulk was at Universal, but
They didn't care.
Well, no, the rights ran out.
Yeah.
So Universal holds the right for distribution, but doesn't hold the right. They can't
I
make
think
a
they
Hulk.
also can't do it, like Disney can't do a solo Hulk movie. They can
Well, they
only-
can do it, but
they
then Universal has distribution.
Oh,
Disney
distribution,
can't
okay.
put it out without Universal, but Universal can't make
That's okay.
one.
Disney will
Right.
buy Universal eventually.
Soon, yeah, I know.
They'll
And
just
Warner
buy the rights to
Brothers.
Hulk.
But that was what my worry going into it. If you think about it, is these are B and C rate characters. How is this going to work on the big
See,
screen?
I wasn't worried about that because they had already taken these B and C rate characters in their build-up and shown that they were awesome.
But we had people that were still in there like Hawkeye. We'd only got one glimpse of
That-
Hawkeye
Right,
going in.
right.
Black Widow. We'd only
We've
got
gotten a lot
one.
of her, though, honestly. But she'd been in so many of
No,
them.
she'd
No,
only
she was
been
only
in
in
one.
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man
Yeah,
2
but that
leading up to
glimpse
it.
Oh, you're right.
was amazing.
Yeah,
right?
okay, she was.
And
but,
although I haven't seen Iron Man 2, I've seen that scene.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
but
oh
with
my God.
Hawkeye,
There's more.
all it was is one scene of him sitting over, looking over Thor.
Saying I'm starting to root for this guy.
Something like that.
Okay, so let's move on a little bit because we're gonna get into more of this. I know on our lists.
Time out. There was one other person because I just keep forgetting about him, but we got to talk about Agent Coulson as well.
Oh,
I think
the
we're gonna get
glue
to
of
Coulson,
Phase 1,
yeah.
Phase 2.
Yeah, like him and Nick Fury to a certain extent because you
Oh,
saw
no,
that
but-
you saw that Shield was coming in, but he was just like
From the day one.
the little sprinkle of like with the
You know
whole
this
acronym
guy.
of Shield. Yeah, like here I'm just here just to kind of debrief you guys, and then you find out that he's a major player in everything.
And although we'll get to him more as our show goes on,
Yeah.
Loki.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. and used the way that it was used in the comics.
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this question before we go on to the game show. Which movie or moment did it hit that you knew this universe was going to be something special? Because, it couldn't be Iron Man 1 because, that's
Actually,
a great movie.
I would say...
But, you got to keep going like, oh, okay, no, I get it.
I don't know that I was like, oh, this is going to be special. I do remember the goosebumps and the thrill I got when Samuel Jackson came out of the shadows and goes,
Yeah.
I am Iron Man. You think you're the only one out there that's being a superhero. I was like, I just remember like everything just turning pale and like, Nick Fury!
And you guys know that Ultimate Nick Fury from the comics was based on
him.
Sam Jackson.
So that's when I knew, and I was just like, oh, Nick Fury. And, like, that's the moment I can say I was like, we're on to something, because nobody else had done that before.
Yeah, mine was another post credit, but when you first see it, post credit, I think on Iron Man 2, I think, when they show the hammer,
Thor's hammer, yeah.
hammer. He goes, well, I'm going.
that was Iron Man 1.
Okay, Iron
No,
Man.
it's,
Yeah.
no, it's two.
It's two.
It was two.
Because
Yeah,
he
two?
leaves in the middle. Coulson leaves
Yeah.
in the middle of Iron Man 2 and tells him,
I gotta go to Arizona.
I got to go to Arizona or New Mexico.
New Mexico.
You're,
and
you're right.
and you're like, wait.
What's
And
in New
then-
Mexico? Yeah.
And I remember being there, and not one person moved from the theater. It's dark. And you see just nothing. It's like a 2-3 second scene. You see it closes in. You see the hammer,
And I didn't
Mjolnir.
think it was going to show
and
the hammer.
It just erupted in the theater. People screaming like they just saw God himself. It was.
Oh, we did see a god.
It was absolutely amazing. That moment, I'm like, oh, this is something special. This is something really, really special.
I don't know. I think I just had good faith in the entire process. I would say probably the one movie that just clinched it, like, okay, this is going to be good, is when Tony puts on the Iron Man suit, the with the red and gold for the first time, and you just see it build up, and then it gets to his face, click, and like, okay.
When he throws a little bit of hot rod red in there.
It's like, okay, they're taking this seriously. This is going to...
Because that could have looked so wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it could have been so bad.
And just his flight for the first time as well, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with how bad Pepper Potts was, and we still love that movie.
I love Pepper.
For me,
I like Pepper was fine.
Oh, my least favorite part of
you
the
want some
series.
goop? No, sorry. So for me, like everything you guys said, were things that built the excitement for me as well. But it wasn't until Avengers, because I thought to myself, again, I was skeptical the way Kaj was about, like, are they going to be able to do this? But when they did Avengers and they did everything correctly, I knew at that moment that they could do no wrong. They could bring any character into this world and it would be good to fabulous. I mean, good at minimum, fabulous at, maximum.
Yeah, even when they're bad, they're good.
Yeah.
And I thought they could do no wrong, and then when they proved that by bringing in other C level characters and making them
Guardians of the Galaxy.
and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Who would have ever thought?
We'll go, but we'll...
Yeah. We'll
So
give that-
so
that's
after
another
I saw
phase. That's
Avengers and
another phase.
Avengers worked so well, it's like, okay,
They're good.
This is good. Nothing will ever be bad here.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so let's move on, and Carl has the game show for us today.
Shucky.
Here's a generic game show for you.
All right, everyone. So today we have a game show for you. It's going to be based off of Phase 1. So I'll go quickly through these questions, and we'll see what everyone has. We're going to start with Kaj, going over to PB, and then ending with Dub.
Hey, I'm last.
Question... Oh, I need to keep score. Kaj, you want to keep score? Oh.
Nomine Padre, Filii, Spiritus Sancti. Okay, here we go. I'm ready.
Game show amateurs. Come on.
Right. So,
How many balloons does it take?
question number 1. Iron Man released in 2008. What other Marvel-owned property, not Fox or Sony-owned, movie came out the same year that is not part of the MCU?
I don't think this came out, but it was the only thing that I could think of that came to mind. It wasn't the Fantastic Four movie with Michael Chiklis and Jessica Alba, but there was another one that they were trying to...
The
that they
Michael
were trying to-
Corbin one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But then right before it released, I think it got shut down or something. It didn't get released in any way, shape, or form, if I'm not mistaken.
It's on YouTube, by the way, if you want to watch it.
Okay,
I
sweet.
own it too.
But
the only-
I'm going to say that the Corbin Fantastic Four.
I'm going to have to say no on that one. Sorry, sir.
Well, boo.
The only
PB?
one I could come up with was Norton's Incredible Hulk, because I don't think initially it was MCU.
Nope. It's always started out as an MCU.
Okay.
Sorry.
The third or fourth Punisher movie, I think, War Journal, with Jigsaw.
You would be correct. It was
Oh, good
Punisher
job.
Warzone came out the same
Warzone.
year.
Vindication!
Good job. That was a MCU.
Well, and
Marvel, huh?
didn't the person I can't remember the actor's name, but the person that played Punisher
Stevenson.
became one of the Warriors 3.
Yes.
Yeah, Falstaff.
Falstaff,
Right?
yep.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Number 2.
Half point.
What's the name of Captain America's unit in the first Avenger?
The Howling Commandos.
That is correct.
The
Easy.
Howling Commandos.
That too is correct.
Actually, the Howlin' Commandos.
Hey, don't be a Dum Dum Duggan.
Frankenstein and his squadron of monsters. I didn't know that one.
if you don't stay out of the DC lore, sir.
Change your shirt.
Number 3. What alias does Black Widow go by in her first appearance in the MCU?
Soda Popinski.
Feel like I should give you a point for that one, but no.
Okay, so I wrote red, scribbled out, star, red star.
No.
Natalie Ramshackle. I don't know.
Close. But no.
Did I get a point? Half point?
You know, I'm going to... No.
No, don't give PB
The
a half
answer
point.
is Natalie Rushman.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I know you
close.
didn't see it. In Iron Man 2, that was her name. And
Yeah,
remember,
Natalie. I knew Natalie.
and he Googles her to see what, and he ends up with all the modeling pictures of her.
Okay.
I think I should get a half point.
Number 3.
After the last loss, I deserve it.
Oh, where are we at? Well, we're on number 4, right?
Number 4.
Yep, number 4. What operation does Hawkeye and Black Widow remember very differently?
You all are going to kick yourself in the tail because we were just talking about this and it was very recent. Don't forget, this is nothing like Budapest.
That would be correct, sir.
I'm not going to kick myself because I wrote Budapest.
Ah.
Dub.
At the bombing of Northern Ireland. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm going to need you to find out what happened in Budapest, sir.
And that's a Black Widow movie.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Well, they have to go prequel.
Number 5.
Spoilers.
What is Stark's nickname for Thor in the first Avenger movie?
I
I
said
know
thunderclap.
That's amazing.
No, sir.
Wasn't that a rapper
Goldilocks.
in the 80s?
No.
Okay.
Sparky?
No.
I thought it was.
Nope. His nickname is actually Point Break.
Oh,
He slaps him on the arm and he
right.
says, "Not a bad
Oh.
swing you got there, Point Break." If you also remember in Thor Ragnarok, when he's trying to figure out what the password is for the ship, he finally goes, Point Break, and the ship turns on for him.
nice.
Number 6. What is the name of the Stark Industry missile that Tony is promoting at the beginning of Iron Man?
Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the Jericho.
You are correct, sir.
I wrote the Apocalypse Cluster.
Well, there's editing.
Oh,
Thank you.
Language.
Going around them walls. It's the Jericho.
That's another point. Number 7. Where was the famous racetrack that Whiplash faces off with Iron Man?
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it Monaco?
Correct, sir.
Nice.
PB.
I didn't see that movie, so I just wrote the Grand Prix.
We give you a point. No, I'm sorry, I can't. And
Le Monaco.
Is it Monaco where the Grand Prix is?
Yes.
Well, then I should get a point.
Well, the
Okay,
Grand Prix
Dub.
No, I'm serious. I
If
should.
I'm not
If
mistaken,
it's-
Grand Prix are just for Formula. A Grand Prix could be anywhere. It's a
But
Formula
is
the
One.
Grand
it,
Prix
okay?
anywhere.
Is the Monaco race a Grand Prix?
All races are.
Oh, it's
The
all,
Indy
all
500
Formula One races
the
are
Indy
Grand
500
Prix.
isn't a Grand
All
Prix.
Indy races are Grand Prix.
Because there was one in Macau, the Macau Grand Prix. Yes.
okay, we're going to move on to the next one. Number 8. What did the World Security Council do during the invasion of New York?
They sent a missile to New York. That's what they did.
I'll give it to you.
Nice. And then high-fived afterwards.
I initially wrote hidden in the bathroom, but I think it's I wrote authorized Shield to send or to be in charge of all alien threats. That's what I wrote.
Unfortunately not, sir.
No.
Sorry.
I put the let them eat cake.
Wow, no.
That's
Cause-
a historical reference for any of y'all out there.
Kaj was absolutely right. If you remember, they launch a nuclear missile at New York, which Tony has to shoot up
Okay.
and takes out the
yes, I
Shatari
remember that
ship
now.
for it.
11 years, guys. Jeez.
Number, where are we at here? 10? 10?
9.
9.
Right.
9, because you skipped the one.
Yep.
This is the video game
So
one.
number 9. On the shield carrier, what did Tony Stark catch an agent playing?
I was torn about this. I had an answer, and then I changed it right at the last minute, but I think it's Missile Command.
That would be incorrect, sir.
It was the first one.
I just wrote solitaire.
That would have been awesome, by the way.
All right.
I wish it would have been that, but it's Galaga.
Good.
Was it? Oh, it was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, hey, that guy over there, don't tell me I can't see you playing Galaga
Yep,
over
that guy
there.
over there's
Yep,
playing
yep,
Galaga.
yep. I thought
And then
it
he
was
turns it
solitaire,
back
too.
on
I
right
thought it was-
afterwards. Number 10. What was the name of the, quote, powerful missile that Hammer had installed into the War Machine armor?
You know what? I'm going to try to cater to the host of the game show, and I'm going to call it the Big Carl.
I'm giving him a point for that. Unfortunately not, sir.
I wrote stop hammer time.
I think this is it. I'm probably wrong. Is the Hand of God?
No.
No.
It was called the ex-wife It's the bunker that busts bunkers. And number 11. What is the Steve Rogers now famous line that he says when he's in a fight that he might be losing?
I could do this all day.
Kaj gets a point.
I could do this all day.
PB gets a point.
I think it was, you can't touch this. It's hammer time.
No, that was my answer for the missile.
Unfortunately, Dub does not get a point.
Get a point.
America.
America. F yeah.
And my 12th question for all of you is, what did the Avengers do during the post-credit scene in the end of the original Avengers movie?
This is quite funny. When I was driving home a couple of days ago, I look over to the right side, and there's a shawarma bar that is right next to my house. They were eating shawarma.
That would be correct, sir.
We all waited through all of the credits to watch them eat shawarma, which is my answer too.
Well, first they ate shawarma, and then lightning came out of Thor's butt because of the gas you get from the shawarma.
Do you get gas from shawarma?
Shawarma.
Ugh.
So that would be it. So let's see what our total is. Dub, you didn't do so bad this time.
I didn't do so good, but I didn't do so bad.
So, bringing up the rear, we have PB with 3. But we're going to give you an excuse on these because you didn't see Iron Man 2, and quite a few of these came out of Iron Man 2.
Okay.
Dub, afterwards, with a total of 5. Dub, I'm so ashamed. So ashamed. And Kaj getting 6 out of 12. Kaj is our winner.
Well, somebody gets to say the line today.
You like me. You somewhat like me. All right.
If you looked at his paper, of course he liked it. Okay, so let's move on, and we got some listener feedback.
And now, let's see what all of our geek rock stars have to say.
Okay, on the listener feedback this week, I lost about half of these, so I apologize to everyone that I lost. This was a couple weeks ago that I put this out, so some of them got lost. So I asked, what was your favorite secondary character in the MCU? I think
a
there's
good
some pretty
question.
good ones. John from California says Bucky. And then Eric Broughton says Ant-Man's team is by funniest the sports group, but I don't necessarily think Bucky is a support character. I kind of agree with that.
I read that, and I think he is.
Well, me and Katie had, because she was on the same page with that as well too. To her, he's not. To me, he was a secondary character going into a villain. Now he's kind of on a redemption path, but he's not a main character yet.
I liked in First Avenger also how they portrayed Bucky as not being a little kid. You know,
Yeah.
they made him big and tough, and
He was the big
yeah,
kid.
he
Actually.
was
Big
like
kid.
bigger brother. Or,
he was the bigger brother to Steve.
Okay, Danielle Ariana said Jarvis, which actually is an interesting take. Most people would say Vision, but Jarvis actually was an interesting character.
Right.
He was a voice.
Well, Vision didn't come in until Ultron anyway, so.
Let's see. Catherine Wilson said Lewis.
From Ant-Man, yes.
And which is... We'll talk about him later.
He's a
my
fun
gosh.
character.
I will pay any amount of money to put him on my screen for 2 hours recapping the entire
Right
MCU.
after Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I hear that there is going to be a post-scene credit of him doing a recap of the snap and what happened.
Oh, nice. Let's see. Daniel Houston said the same thing. Lewis. That's kind of a popular character.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Jen Thurman says the Falcon, Sam.
Okay.
And the True Blythe, we all know Blythe over there, said Vision.
Okay.
So, and I apologize. I lost
Does the
an
Vision count
enormous amount. Yeah.
as a supporting?
No.
He's a main member of the
But
Avengers
you know what?
team.
Sometime when you see Blythe, you can argue with him. He'll be on in 2 weeks. So if you want to come by and yell at him in 2 weeks, you can do that.
I'm here. I have no fear.
I also like that Jarvis was a machine because in the comics he was a real person.
Yeah.
Right.
It was an interesting choice making him a.
It was good update.
Well, you know what's really interesting is if you watch the Peggy
Agent
Who
Carter.
got married?
Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
Jarvis is in it. Vision
Yeah.
is in it
Yep.
without his makeup, and I'm like, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Well, he was in Endgame.
Endgame too.
Yeah, because he was the chauffeur driver for Howard Stark.
And he asked him, "Hey, do we know him?"
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Wow. So again, I apologize for all the people that I lost here, and I lost all the Twitter things. So I apologize, and I won't let it happen again.
Does that make you a twit?
If this won't happen again after these 3 episodes.
Okay.
Sorry, people, he snapped.
Okay, so let's move on from there, and we have our main event.
Now it's time for the main event.
Okay, so for our main event today, we have our top 5 moments, characters, or movies from Phase 1. Once again, I went vague because, yeah.
You got to be vague, because then we can be more interesting.
Okay.
Because we need every bit of help we can get to be more interesting.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, so I have a Captain America sandwich. I'm going to start with a Captain America, and I'm going to end with a Captain America, just so that's a little foreshadowing coming.
That's kind of like weird and sexy at the same time.
I wouldn't have said that.
It's Chris Evans. I take it.
He does have America's backside. That's all I'm saying.
There you go. Exactly.
Yes, I do. So number 5 is Captain.
No, you are America's backside. That's the difference.
I'm the excretion of America's backside.
It's okay. I got a Thor body now.
Yeah. Captain America, the mirror foreshadowing. I love when they do foreshadowing in these movies, and when he's coming up to the mirror and is like, "Are you one of Uncle Sam's children or whatever?" I don't know. And he's like too short for it, so his head doesn't even come up to it. And it's just like he's so disappointed, and he doesn't care. He's disappointed, but he's like, "I'm gonna make it anyway." And I really love that scene because, like, you know what he becomes.
Right.
I mean, no matter if you're a captain. If it's your first comic book movie or not, you know what he's about to become.
The lesson is throw yourself on that grenade.
Right.
Yep, and take steroids.
Yep.
I just want to point out, for a man of all kinds of virtues, didn't it establish that he lied quite a bit in the beginning?
Wow,
Like,
I didn't even think of that.
Like, not just lied, but criminal lies.
That's felony type.
It really is.
That is Leavenworth type line that he did.
Just saying.
Number 5.
My number 5 is all the different Stan Lee cameos.
Yeah.
I think that we'll definitely get deeper into them as we do deeper shows.
Oh, yeah.
But the meaning behind them.
So, what's your favorite cameo of this Phase 1?
Ooh. Actually, my favorite cameo of this Phase 1, he plays kind of the same thing in Phase 2, is when he's the Army general. And Captain America's supposed to come out. He's like, I thought he'd be a little bit taller.
Right. I liked when he tried to get Thor's hammer out
with the truck.
Oh, so redneck.
Oh, yeah.
And you could picture him being that way.
Oh, yeah, dude, absolutely. Mine is the famous Iron Man scene when the tank shoots the shot at him and he ducks out of the way, takes his little mini missile. And then just walks off like, I got this. Boom. It's just the ultimate superhero.
Did the manly man walk.
Just the machismo.
I don't look
so
back
good.
at the explosion.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Nice. My number 5 is the characterizations of Hulk and Thor, which I've kind of already covered in the show. I didn't like Solo Hulk, but I like the fact that they got Ruffalo and Ruffalo, however you say his name, and then of course Chris Hemsworth pulling it off. Very risky characters, and yet in the overall scheme of the MCU, they're both brilliant.
Absolutely. My number 4 is just the amalgamation of all the post-credit scene, building onto the next movie, building onto the universe. It made it so that what DC never figured out is, okay, well, we got to put everything about this world into each movie. No, you just put it in that post-credit scene. So you're excited about it, and you have just that little touch. And they did it so tastefully. And again, like I was saying with the... when you saw Thor's hammer, the freaking theater erupts every time, and I love it.
Into a thunderclap.
Yes.
Right?
Wow. It's like an Avengers Assemble moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, do you feel like it was a missed opportunity with the post-credit scene for Captain America, the First Avenger? Because his post-credit scene was nothing more than a trailer for...
That was absolutely a miss.
Okay. because that one I was like, oh,
They
it gets you
there's
hyped,
a lot of
but
ways you could have done
yeah.
it. But you know what? They made a lot more money with their ideas than mine.
Either way, that's very true. Number 4 for me would be when Clint Barton is waiting on top of the scaffold, aimed down and pierced ready to take out Thor with an arrow when Thor finally finds Mjolnir,
Yeah.
but realizes
Oh, man.
he's not worthy enough to pick it up.
Right. Well, and you kind of didn't necessarily. You saw the guy with the bow, and you're like, oh, like for people who knew,
knew,
the character,
right.
like that's Hawkeye. But for everybody else, was like, why is he holding the bow? It's like, are you serious?
Well, they said
Hawkeye-
they said Clint with the
yeah.
bow.
It's like, what?
oh,
But that was the first time you like Hawkeye. Wow, he actually looks cool.
Yeah.
Where's
What?
his
No,
Where's
no.
his purple mask and
Yeah,
his
where's-
He
shoulder
doesn't look like a
fluffies and
complete d-bag. This isn't Hawkeye.
I know, right?
My number 4 is this one is just near and dear to my heart because when I was younger would read Captain America fighting the Red Skull with Falcon in there sometimes, but just Cap and the Red Skull just duking it out at the end of the first Avenger was just epic for me. I love that.
very nice. My number 4. So we know the MCU is brilliant at casting most of the time. Loki, a surprisingly good villain.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Again, if it weren't for Tom Hiddleston being such a good actor,
And so just a suave
embracing that role and willing to be the true Loki who isn't as physically gifted as some of the Asgardians, but is smarter
Smarter
and
than
is,
anybody in the room.
and is magical. And man, he nailed that role.
Honestly, Loki, this character is Doctor Who. That without the time travel, he is Doctor Who. Whatever room he walks into, he's got a plan, and he is definitely the smartest person in the room. And that's kind of, I think, the swagger that Hiddleston came into the role as. It's like, okay, well, I'm the Doctor.
And I also like how they did it correctly in that Loki and Thor do
They're not
have
enemies.
a real relationship.
They
They
love
are
each other.
they
Right,
are
right.
brothers.
They love each other.
and they hate each other. I mean, it's
'Cause they're
both.
brothers.
It's
Right.
both, but they do have a relationship. And Loki is not always the villain in certain scenarios.
Yeah.
He's more the puppet or kind of like the chess piece that other bigger
And
authorities are using
one
to get things.
One basic thing that I just loved about in Avengers especially is he did a lot of dastardly things and but he got his butt kicked around in Avengers so many times in the funniest of ways.
And it made you feel good about it.
It did.
Yeah, but his one-liners are great too.
Yes.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, can't hear you.
So my number 3, in Iron Man 1, again, I like the foreshadowing moments, but Rhodey comes up to the suit, and he looks at the suit and goes, next time, you know, like, you know, and everybody that's read comics knows who he's going, he's
Yep.
War Machine, yes. But it was just a good moment without having to put him in the suit.
Right.
You know, as terrible as
Howard?
Terrence
Yeah.
Howard, who Cheadle did so much better.
Oh, yeah.
As much as you didn't care about him in that role, that moment you didn't care because it was like that's really cool, and I probably appreciate that when you know it's better than the scene is better than the actor.
I'm so glad they got Cheadle. So
Yeah.
much better an actor in every
well,
way.
honestly, he wasn't Rhodey.
Didn't quite fit.
Yeah.
It didn't. He was too suave and debonair and
And
trying to
overly
be.
friendly. Like the scene on the plane was
Yeah.
like you wouldn't have seen Rhodey really doing that.
Right.
So, to keep with your foreshadowing going, my number 3 is the post-credit scene from the original Iron Man movie when Nick Fury comes out and goes, "I am Iron Man," and it's just kind of rips into Tony a little bit. And it's the first time that someone's really kind of putting Tony in his place.
Right.
And then lets him know there's something bigger in this world than you.
Well, tell me something about this. That honestly, that scene when he said "I'm Iron Man," I was pissed. I'm like, are they going to Civil War right now? Really? Movie 1, we're going to Civil War. He wasn't an Iron Man.
Dude, it was brilliant
No,
to me.
I loved it
I
too.
hated it. My first instinct, I loved it now, but I hated it. When
Well,
it
just
came out.
just for the fact that like any other superhero movie that we've seen, Superman, Spider-Man,
Batman.
it's always a secret identity, and he just flat out said, "Yes, I am the superhero."
And it was how he-
deal with it.
And
It
you
was
guys
how
know,
he
you guys know
did
that
it,
was
too.
ad-libbed.
Oh, yeah, I had heard.
Even better.
But it's how he did it that was
Yeah.
so perfect because he gets this whole thing. He's been told to get this whole speech. He gets up there and he's like, I am Iron Man.
Yep.
It's just, I remember just going, what?
Like I said, I didn't know Jackson was going to play Nick Fury when I saw Iron Man. But I was a fan of Ultimate Nick Fury, and I knew that he was inspired by Sam Jackson. So when I saw Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury, I was like, oh my God.
Right.
It's like it's come full circle. They actually did it.
Yeah,
they got him.
Man.
My number 3 is the scene in the Avengers where the Hulk finally gets, Banner comes up and he comes to his little moped. And they're like, all right, Hulk out. What are you going to do? We'll just turn into him. He's like, well, what's your secret? And he's like, well, here's my secret. I'm always angry. Turns into the Hulk and just punches that alien.
Well, especially with the foreshadowing the whole time with Tony trying to turn him into the Hulk.
Just trying to get him mad or just prodding him with the cow prod.
And that scene is crazy because the Chitauri ship is coming down the street.
Yeah.
And he's just standing there. He's like, the secret? I'm always angry.
Right.
And then he turns and just bam.
I love there's a blooper reel where they show me he's about to say that. He's like, you're on your own. He just turns around.
Takes off running. Yeah.
Nice.
That's great. My number 3 is the entire concept of Captain America, the First Avenger. When I saw that and I thought, oh, they are not doing 616 Cap. This is Ultimate Captain America, the one that's going to get a little dirtier, a little grittier, a little bit stronger, a little bit more violent, but still has all of the important. Well, I don't know. We talked about him being a liar, but overall,
all the other virtues.
But overall, has the virtuous personality that we would all get used to. Again, having the Ultimate Universe to dip into to kind of hybrid the MCU is a great thing, and I like some of the ultimate choices they made.
Nice.
That being one of them.
Okay, my number 2 is that scene in the Avengers when Loki's bragging about everything that he has, and when what are you some billionaire playboy, and Tony goes, well, we have a Hulk, and just that whole scene is just fantastic. Just like, I got a nuclear weapon here, you don't, and no matter what you have, you're not gonna top this. I love that part.
Let's see. For me, my number 2 would be that iconic first shot when all of the Avengers are together after Captain America, gets them together and he's being told, all right, make the call. And he starts telling everyone what to do. That's when you realize it's a real team.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little bit over to a different area. There's one little robot, one little armed little robot called Dummy that just, in Iron Man 1, that just, he was comic relief, like you never would expect it, but just you see like Tony just falls for the first time and just like basically just crashes through into his car, and then all of a sudden you just see the thing like and then just throughout the entire rest of the show he's like nope. He's just so eager to help him out.
I love his character development.
And then just when Tony's down and just about he gets his power source pulled, and then you just see him hold up the trophy of his old arc reactor to help him out, to send him back. You got to give him kudos. Inanimate object, but oh my god, like such a good scene.
My number 2. We've had superhero movies long before this movie that I'm going to mention, but the magic was there in Iron Man, in Iron Man 1, in Robert Downey Jr., in the fact that Iron Man was at best a C+ character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people knew who he was, sure.
But no one cared.
But but at best a C+ character. And they took the risk of taking this. This isn't Superman, this isn't Batman, this isn't Spider-Man. They took this C-level character and made him the beginning of the magic.
Yeah.
So and Iron Man.
The anchor of the MCU, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, my number 1 is the other piece of bread in my Captain America sandwich. Basically saying the same thing as my number 5, but still seeing Steve Rogers fail so many times of trying to enlist, and he keeps doing it, and he keeps trying, and he keeps trying, and that perseverance, and I love that. That goes to the heart of Captain America and why you love him. Because even if he was a wuss, he would still die for what he believed in. I loved it.
All right. I'm going to add on to the Captain America train. My number 1 is when Steve realizes he's in the present day. I mean, to me, that was perfect. He's laying there, he's listening to the baseball game, and he just looks at the lady and he's like, where am I? And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, no, I know this game. I was there. Where am I?
Yeah, right.
Perfect way of bringing him into present day.
Or just see him run out, and then all of a sudden he sees New York City.
And just stops.
It's like, whoa, my God.
And the only thing he has to say about it, and after all is said and done, he was like, you going to be okay? He's like, yeah, I had a date.
Right.
Oh, God, I forgot that line.
Yeah.
But
Thank you for breaking my heart again, Carl.
That's what I do.
It's okay. He got to go on the date.
Exactly. It came full circle, so he got.
But we'll talk about that
Spoilers.
later.
Several phases. To add on to Dubs, I think even with all the phases, this is probably the funniest scene in all of the MCU. Puny God, when Loki stands up to the Hulk and is like, I'm destroyer, I am the god of mischief, blah blah, and just Hulk grabs him by the leg and proceeds to pound him into the ground.
And even better, that scene happens just a few minutes after Hawkeye shoots the arrow at him,
Right.
that he catches so suavely, and then the arrow explodes and knocks
Right.
him into the building.
And just I had tears running down my
that
face.
was funny.
It was a Bugs
so
Bunny
funny.
moment, and it was beautiful.
And he
Slam,
walks
slam,
away.
slam, and then he looks at him and slams him a couple more times.
Yeah, and then walks away and is like, puny God.
So here's a trivia piece for you. Everyone seems to believe that that's the first time in the MCU that the Hulk speaks.
No.
No.
Not even
Do you,
close.
do you know when the first time he speaks is in the MCU?
When he comes through the mirror.
Nope.
Didn't he say something in the Incredible Hulk with Norton?
But that scene isn't when he grabs him through the mirror?
That's Eric.
That's
Bana.
Eric. Yeah, that
That's
one's
Eric
not part
Bana.
of
Oh,
it.
okay.
I don't know.
It is. It's in the Incredible Hulk. If you remember, when he's in the middle of trying to choke out and save Betty, he yells "Hulk smash!" and he
Okay.
hits the ground.
That's true. That's
Oh,
true.
nice.
You know what? I've got to do this. We have a guest from the audience that would like to debate that for a second.
Uh-oh.
Guys, come over here for a
What do
second.
you got for me?
Wow. Good use of the Tesseract.
The first time the Hulk actually speaks within the MCU is in the fight when he throws the forklift. The first fight that he happens in Incredible Hulk, when he turns, you can faintly hear it, but he says something along the lines of "Hulk just wants to be left alone."
Okay.
I don't know.
Awesome.
I'm going home and watching the Hulk, Incredible Hulk
We
tonight.
do have a guy here that used to be a pro wrestler. So maybe we could settle this like men. No, I'm kidding.
You're always trying to see a fight.
I haven't been in the ring in a while, but let's go.
All right, so me? Are we
You're
on my
it.
number
You're
one?
number
Okay,
one.
so I've already talked about this. It's the brilliant build up to the Avengers.
Yeah.
The fact
Yeah.
that if it wouldn't have built up and then worked, we wouldn't have had an MCU. But with the Avengers, the sky is the limit, and the sky is still the limit, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
They always set it up for the next phase and for the next thing coming.
Yep.
But just the introduction of Thanos as well, like you were going to.
Oh, that's right, yeah, that's right.
add too of like
I didn't even put that. And that's even at the end of my notes. The
That's-
fact that in that post-credit scene,
That smile.
you just see
spin
him turn around like.
and it was Thanos, and I'm a huge Thanos fan.
Oh,
and there
it
it was Thanos.
I think I screamed it. I'm like Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, in the line that was used to introduce when the other goes, "To bother them is like courting death," and he was like,
Yeah.
I was like, "What? Are we getting death? What's going on here?"
Oh, I wish. Okay, that's a show. I'm sorry. Got to cut it off.
Call it a wrap.
Got to call it a wrap. Check out the website, www.iheartgeekshow.com. Use the com. We paid extra for it. Hey, go on the Facebook, and you can actually see us, our ugly mugs, for a second if you really want to. Go to the Twitter, @iHeartGeekShow. Yeah, do all that stuff. And until next time, I'm Dub.
I am the Black Geek.
I'm Kaj.
I'm PB&Jason.
Keep on geeking on.
Why are you snapping your fingers? Don't.
That's another phase.
You've been listening to iHeartGeek. Our Twitter account is @iHeartGeekShow. Hope you enjoyed the show.